We're all getting very, very excited about the very top end of the Sky Bet Championship. Not so long ago, there was 11 points between second and third. Now it's just goal difference that separates Leeds and Fulham. Forest up to fourth, Brentford fifth, and Preston obviously round out the playoff place with the Bristol City hot on their heels. Chaps, it's all looking extremely exciting indeed. Let's not forget West Brom, of course, sitting pretty, 4 points clear at the top of the division. But, Clinton, for Leeds United, the worrying run of form that they found themselves on, 1 win in 7 in all competitions. Statement victory by Nottingham Forest on Saturday night, thoroughly deserved. What is going on?
It's difficult. It feels like it's happening all over again, and Leeds fans will be worrying it happened again last season. It's happening this season, and not scoring enough goals. I think they create so many chances and don't put the ball in the back of the net. They've just brought in a striker, Augustin, who's going to come in and maybe can compete. But as I said, me and Merz were just talking about him off the break. How long is it going to take him to adjust to the Championship? It's a hard league, the Championship. A lot of people will think, it's not got a lot of quality. There's a lot of quality in there. You're playing Saturday, Tuesday. They're relying too much on Patrick Bamford at the moment. He's not going to deliver week in, week out. So I think they're struggling to score goals. And listen, in midfield, got players like Hernandez who are really good footballers, who I think is a Premier League player, and he does deliver. But at the moment, they're not taking their chances. They're dominating the football matches, but not putting the ball in the back of the net.
Is there a case to be made that working players, obviously relatively hard, I mean too hard in the sense of it's a 46-game season. After 21 games, Leeds United, statistically, it stacks up really quite well, Merz. The last 10 games, it's now dipped in all the perceived places that you wouldn't want it to dip, and obviously gone up in the goals conceded. Now, Marcelo Bielsa, famed for the way that he works his football teams and how intricate
famed if they
don't go up. So he's very... I mean, there's comparisons made with Guardiola, who obviously always references him as the best he's ever worked with or knows of. But we're talking about a very hefty league season with cups thrown in as well. And these squads haven't got two sets of first teams, have they?
No, definitely not. I've played in the Championship twice. Played with Middlesbrough and I played with Portsmouth. And at the end with Portsmouth, I trained Tuesdays and Tuesdays and Thursdays I trained, and I had Monday, Wednesday, and Friday off. And I missed 2 games. 2 football matches, because Harry looked after you. You don't really have to train a lot. You're playing that much. You're not going to lose any fitness. The days you come in, you work hard on a Tuesday, and then the other day you're just chilling out, and then you play the games. This is all happening all over again. I hear that the players don't have a lot of time off, and it's even just coming in, you just need to get away from the workplace and have a little
from each other sometimes.
And a chill down and recharge the batteries. And it's happening again. And and you look at that, the worrying one for me there is no clean sheets. No clean sheets. Very hard to win football matches without clean sheets. And for me, they look a tired team. They do. They're good with the ball, and they are good with the ball. But they haven't got that cutting edge. There's not that buzz. Do you know what I mean? You're better off sometimes being like that, like Fulham. Fulham get the ball and then bang, bang. I mean, they rely on Mitrovic a lot. But what I like about West Brom, they went out in the window and they got players like Robinson in who have been there and done it. And they'll just come in and they'll just fall into place. And we talk about the lad, is his name Augustin?
Yeah. Augustin.
He's never kicked a ball in this. It could take 3 months. Leeds haven't got 3 months.
I mean,
it is a shame, all the clubs up there. But you look at Leeds and you think, not again.
Yeah,
not again. To fill the ground out and. The manager needs someone. This is where you'd like a strong number 2, to come in and go to say to your manager, I know you're great, and everybody tells you you're great. We need to change something.
Well, so, I mean, the kind of numbers that we're looking at.
But that just tells me you haven't got a strong number 2.
That's both ends as well. Defensively, as you said, and scoring goals.
That is unbelievable. For the quality of player they got, them players have not become bad players.
No.
What they become is tired-minded players. And when you get tired minds, that's when you start making mistakes. These are good players, good Championship players, definitely. And what they were doing in the first half of the season, they're tired. It's tired minds. Tired minds make mistakes. We've all been there. Yeah. Even with chances and midfield players, when you're tired, people run off you. Absolutely. You're like, I won't go. Chances with us, balls come in, you just don't get there.
No, I always got
tiredness, and this is where you got. No, that's why you're sitting here. So, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Don't see Thierry Henry sitting, do
He's way too expensive.
Exactly.
But, I mean, look at the squad that Leeds have got. You mentioned some players there that have they're obviously well-known names from a Leeds United point of view, but they're well-known names because they play a hell of a lot of games because it is a lean squad. And you've got to say, perhaps to his credit, Bielsa, that he's put some very, very young players in, and some have flourished and some have got a bit of a taste of it. But the all-out assault on what the Championship is, now it's going to be surely to go with the physical tiredness, mentally, as Merce says, emotionally, it's going to be a huge test, isn't it?
It's going to be huge. Listen, Bielsa, a lot of people talk about him that he's one of the best, but now he's going to have to prove he's one of the best because they all talk about how hard he works and other managers, you see them praising him. Well, no, it happened last season. Don't let it happen again this season because are you going to still be that special manager? I think he's a really good manager. I think they have missed Phillips in midfield. He obviously got a straight red card against QPR and he's been missing for the 3 games. I think he's crucial for them. I think for me personally, he can go and play in the Premier League. He's that good of a footballer, a good holding midfielder, and he's really good for them and he gets them going and, gets the crowd going. But it's a big test for Bielsa at the moment. As I said earlier, everyone talks about how good he is, now start producing. But Mercy's right, you need days off. If they're not getting days off as footballers, mentally it's draining. Coming in and seeing the same faces all the time. That's like me playing with you two and seeing you all the time. But I need a break.
Drop down the stand.
Yeah, get out of it. I was waiting for that.
Merce slumming it with me and you.
Yeah.
So it's tough. I mean, they go up against Brentford on Tuesday night. 3 months ago, they were 13 points clear of Brentford. If Brentford beat them, they go above them in the table. And look, they're hitting a Brentford side in the rudest of health. And Leeds' trips to the capital, they've not won in London since December 2017. I'm not saying, obviously, there's more than several clubs in London. But, I mean, talk about meeting a team away from home at perhaps the wrong time.
I watched Brentford on Saturday, on the show, on Soccer Saturday. I watched them against Middlesbrough, and they wasn't great. I was quite disappointed, but they won 3-2, and they reminded me of like of the Liverpool of that league, because you have to stay with them. For 90 minutes, they won't play well for like 20, 30 minutes. You've got to take your chances because when you slack, they're gonna hurt you because the front three are like the equivalent of the front three at Liverpool, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
the front three for the Championship they are, and they scored 3 goals. And Middlesbrough probably walked off the pitch and thought, played well today. Because I even watched Middlesbrough and I thought, Middlesbrough got a chance next season. You look at Middlesbrough next season and think, tell you what, play like that, they'll be all right. And you just have to stay with Brentford. It's hard to stay with them for 90-odd minutes because they move the ball quickly. They've got pace up front. They've got goals in the team. And again, they all know what they're doing. They all know what they're doing. And they look fresh. They look like they've got legs and they look like they can keep on going. But with Leeds are one of them teams. If they went to Brentford tomorrow and won, you couldn't ring me up Wednesday and I couldn't sit there on Wednesday and go, God, I can't believe that result. Because something's going to happen soon with Leeds. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Something's going to happen. But they will have to be. The biggest worry for me tomorrow night is they haven't kept a clean sheet. So they will at least have to score 2 goals to win tomorrow. At least 2 goals. Now, they're not doing that too often neither.
No, I mean, defensively, Brentford have been absolutely superb this season, haven't they?
No, they have.
From a conceding point of view. But as Merce talks about who can be there to score the goals, the second there, because they've got 3 players up front in Ben Rama and Mbeumo and Ollie Watkins, who you know very, very well.
Yeah,
joint top scorer in the Championship, used to be a winger, seems to take into the centre-forward position really, really well.
He's been brilliant, to be fair. He gets all type of goals in. It's 20 goals already this season. For a person who wasn't a number 9, he's changed his game to be a number 9. I think he's been exceptional. And that could be the difference for Brentford taking that second spot, because I think West Brom will win it. I most definitely do. I think the second spot's open. I think the Brentford game tomorrow is a huge game for both teams. If Leeds win it, then they play another big game on the weekend, and they got Bristol City on the weekend. That's another huge game for Leeds. But I think Brentford have been phenomenal. That front three can get them promoted because they're that good.
Yeah, I think the first goal's big tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because I think you look at Brentford and when teams get that early goal against them, like Forest have scored against them, the Huddersfield have won there. When teams get that early goal, they can sit back and afford, and then they can break. But if you go 1-0 down against Brentford, I think it's good night, Nurse, because they got too much pace up front when you're chasing the game. And I think the first goal's a massive football goal. And your man the other day didn't play well, Watkins.
No, he said he
But
did.
then he gets the ball on the halfway line, he holds it up, plays a simple ball out. Instead of watching it, he gets in the box and he keeps his head down and a good finish. I mean, they're a special three, them three, especially for the Championship.
There is an effective simplicity to his game, isn't there, Ollie Watkins? Yes. Let's talk about Forest now. They beat Leeds, obviously, at the weekend. I mean, the atmosphere was incredible. And I think the Forest fans that were gesturing towards the studio were saying it was 2-0. That was the hand gesture that we used. Maybe I've got that wrong. I'll find out. I'll get to the bottom of that. But
was you like there then?
well, I thought it was, but that's obviously kind of said. So Sabri Lamouchi,
Yep.
his first taste of English football. We were talking off camera. They've not had a manager that's started and finished the season since Billy Davies. That was 10 years ago. Safe to say he's probably going to finish the season with Forest.
Yeah, of course.
Is he going to finish the season with a Forest side that have ended up in the Premier League?
They've got a chance. They've got a great chance. The good times are back at Forest. Listen, I've said it a lot of times. My youngest is there at the academy, so I'm always at the academy with him. I go to watch quite a bit of the Forest games, and listen, sometimes they're not pretty to watch. Like, they just know how to win football matches. Lewis Graban's up front by himself, and he does a lot of the work by himself, and he's waiting for support. But now Amiobi's chipping in with goals. A really good player in Lolly. I think Lolly's brilliant, but there's so much pressure on Graban. He scored 16 goals this season. He's been the main man. Really good with Ben Watson in midfield. He looks like a spring chicken. I played with him at Palace many years ago. He's been excellent in midfield this season. And then you look at the back players in Worrell, and they've got Dawson in. They know how to, they've got a lot of experience in their Forest.
Put
and they've got
Cash as the
Cash, the right back, who's a really good player.
Yeah.
A lot of big teams are watching him. So they've got the experience and the know-how, and you don't write Nottingham Forest off. They've got a great chance.
So now do we put them in firmly in the automatic promotion chat? Because you could say to a certain extent they've been able to come away off the radar.
Last week, before I watched the game, and you can still now, but it's going to be hard, I would put Bristol City and Preston both in that. But I watched Bristol City against Birmingham,
Friday night, yeah.
and it just shows how hard that league is. Because if you were watching it as a neutral, you'd sit there and think,
Birmingham are up
how are these going to go third and Birmingham are not going to go third?
Yeah.
And that's why I think with how many 15 games to go, you win 10 football matches, you'll go up. I really do, because everybody beats everybody, and I think 10 wins will be enough. I think.
Well, you think tomorrow Leeds have got Brentford.
Yeah.
Forest are at home to Charlton. So, and they'll be fancying their chances. Forest will think, we've got a chance here. One of them two are going to drop points. So we've got a good chance of climbing the
I've watched Charlton on numerous occasions.
No, I'm not saying
I watched them go to Fulham and rip them to shreds.
No, it's not
easy. You know
easy.
what I mean? And on their day, they can... I just think on their day, any team beats anybody.
Yeah, they do.
You've seen Huddersfield take 4 points off Brentford. And look where they are in the leagues.
Yeah.
You know, so for me, I think if you aim at 10 wins in the next 15 games, you'd be a shocker if you didn't go up.
Obviously, West Brom are the ones that are leading the way at the moment. 4 points clear. Back-to-back wins seems to have got them back to what they were. Is their mini blip over now?
Yeah, it's over. If you look, Merson made a good point earlier. They're bringing the players like Callum Robertson in. Kemel Grzycki from Hull, who's a Polish international. They're bringing
lot of assists.
They're bringing in a lot of quality. I looked at the game against Millwall on the weekend. You look at their bench. They're bringing on players like Charlie Austin, Matty Phillips. They've got some quality in that team. They've got some serious quality. So I think Slaven Bilic, they've had their dip now. Yeah. I think West Brom will go on and win the league. If you look at squads, I think them and Fulham squad, they probably got the two biggest and outstanding squads. That's just for squads. I'm not saying 11, but I think it's West Brom's to lose. They're too good.
You wouldn't want to be in the playoffs.
No way.
You wouldn't want to be in the four, whoever the four are.
So here we go then. So give me the three. Give me two automatics.
I'm going to go West Brom, and I'm going to go Brentford, because I think the three up front will just score bundles of goals. Okay. And then I just think if Leeds don't melt at home in the playoffs, I think that they will be the ones, because I think their luck will change. I think, even though I'm saying they're tired at the moment, I still think they're an unlucky football team at the moment. And I think sooner or later they'll start putting their chances away. And I think it'll be them three.
Yeah. West Brom.
Forest
or Fulham. No, Forest or Fulham.
He wants to be watching Premier League football next year.
Yeah, of course I want to be watching that.
He wants to be watching his boy at Forest. That's what he wants.
No, not at all. It's a hard one, but I think if you look at it, I'd probably say West Brom. I think Forest have got a good chance, but if I had to pick one, I'd probably say Fulham and Forest to win the playoffs.
Right, OK.